Well, welcome to ESPN's Rece Davis. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Rece, first I have to start by saying that I'm from Illinois, so I am a fighting Zooker. And I know you might have been around those parts.
Are you fighting with the Zooker?
No,
or
this year I'm not claiming
him?
any Zookerisms.
Okay.
But now that I work here in Memphis, it's all about Memphis, and ESPN 92.9 FM is our new station, and we're glad to have you here. This is a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Memphis is a great town. We always enjoy coming here.
First, I wanted to talk to you about the stuff that we cover, which is St. Louis Cardinal baseball, because that's the big topic this morning on ESPN Radio, and the fact that Rece is back for a year, and he's bringing back Mark McGwire as hitting coach. What are your thoughts?
Well, Tony's one of the great managers in the history of the game. Very insightful, introspective kind of guy who certainly knows what's best for his team. And I think it's good for Mark to be back in the game, too. You know, I think with all that happened with the allegations of performance-enhancing drug use and his, performance at the hearings, which was something, that's less than stellar. I think it's good for him to be back in the game. To be with Tony will be perfect. I had the pleasure of getting to know Tony a little bit better through Bob Knight, who works with me in basketball, and I think the world of him. And hey, look, Tony's going to do what he thinks is right, regardless of what people are going to say about it. So I think it's a good thing. Mark's a great student of the game, and I think he'll do a great job.
Yeah. Here in Memphis, we've got not only the Cardinals on ESPN, but we are actually children of the checkerboard.
I don't actually remember using that one. That one keeps getting thrown at me, but I guess I did.
This is the one that was on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
When you have your own Wikipedia page, you're somebody,
I got that thrown at me at the Touchdown Club last night.
Did you?
I constantly use Children of the Corn for Nebraska, but I don't remember. But I'm sure I did because Wikipedia is never wrong.
Here at UT, what we do is we like to, talk about us. So, it works better for us just to use our own team, I guess.
Okay.
So maybe we're just melding them all together to form that. But the big game this past weekend was Alabama and UT, and there's a lot of UT fans that are disappointed. I think Lane Kiffin's got them on track. What do you think?
I think so too. I think they've certainly shown a great deal of improvement on offense over the course of the season. Defense has been good from the beginning, so I think that they play with a lot of toughness and play with a lot of passion. It was a closer game than many expected. Yeah. They made a couple of plays late to get back in the game when it looked like Alabama was just running out the clock.
Yeah.
And so they had a chance, and Alabama made a play.
And we need a kicker, maybe. I don't know. Or somebody who can block.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cody got pretty good. I think the problem was Cody not only got pretty good penetration, but if you watch the angle of the kick, even if it gotten by Cody, I don't think it gets past Julio Jones.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a tough position. Kickers come out there and they're expected to do their job perfectly, and when they don't, they get a lot of criticism.
And finally, I'm sure in Memphis last night, we're recording this for our website, but last night you spoke at the Touchdown Club, and I'm sure everybody talked about, in some fashion, Memphis basketball to you, because that's really our pride and joy here. And we've got a new head coach, Josh Pastner. What are your thoughts on, because I know you're in town to announce the football game tonight, but really, we're not really looking at football, it seems like, right now. We just want to
Tommy West will be glad to hear that.
I know. Well, East Carolina is a formidable opponent, so it should be an interesting Tuesday night game. But Memphis basketball is big. We had 18,000 people for the Friday night, shootout last week to kick off the season. But you think it's going to be a good season for the Tigers? We're missing a lot this year.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, even if things would have been a little bit different because of some of the recruits that probably would have wound up here, but I think it still would have been different even had Cal State. So Josh is going to need a little time. They're going to have a good team. I don't know if they're going to have a Final Four caliber team, but Josh is a basketball junkie. He's a gym rat. He has pointed to this moment virtually his entire life, the opportunity to run a program like this, and I think he'll do a great job. I think he'll put his own stamp on it. The kids like him. He's a great recruiter. I think they'll play hard for him, and ultimately, to me, that's the most important aspect in college basketball right now. Not everybody can be Mike Krzyzewski or Bob Knight, a superior tactician. And I'm not saying that Josh is or isn't, but I'm just saying that there are so many good coaches and outstanding coaches out there. The thing that seems to differentiate most of them, in my mind, is can you get your kids to play hard all the time? And we'll have to wait and see, but I think Josh will be able to do that. And if he does that, Memphis will continue to be successful.
What's it like to work with a guy like Bobby Knight, who's got an opinion on everybody, especially when it comes to college basketball?
All of my guys have opinions. You don't think Mark May and Lou Holtz have opinions?
Well,
and Jay Billis has an opinion. I guarantee Digger Phelps does too. So I don't think that Bob's any different in that regard. But he is a strong, dynamic presence. And I don't know if in all of my years of doing this, if I've ever, and he and I have become very close. I consider him a very good friend. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody walk into every room he walks into and without saying a word or without doing a thing, commands the room.
Yeah.
His presence is huge, and it's bigger than anybody I've ever been around. And he's been fabulous for our show. I think he's been fabulous calling games. He's done, he has been, the thing, I think people have this image of Bob that he's, mean. But
wonder why.
Well, but the thing is that people don't see the other side. They don't see the unbelievable kindness that he has shown to people throughout his career. This is not new. The unbelievable graciousness with which he treats people in the public when we go out. And the way people react to him is almost universally positive. I mean, I was walking down the street with him. Hubert Davis and I were walking down the street in Berkeley, California, coming back from breakfast. A guy's riding a garbage truck. And he starts yelling at his driver, "Stop, stop!" The guy leaps off the garbage truck and comes sprinting over to Coach Knight just to shake his hand.
Oh my goodness.
Just to shake his hand. And Bob could not have been nicer to the guy. And, he's a very gracious, giving soul, and I think more people ought to see that. And the other thing he's got is he's got a terrific sense of humor. I mean, anybody that go out there in their drawers for that Rock Band or the Guitar Hero commercial, whatever it was, that's pretty good. I should hope he always keeps on his pants on my show, though.
Well, since we're talking about your show, the final question I have to ask you, and I guess you can answer this since you're not analyzing quite all the way into the basketball season, is Kentucky, is that your pick? Who is it?
To win it?
Yeah.
Are
they that good?
They are very good, but they're not my pick to win it. I think that
we like that.
A little anti-Cal.
There's a little bit of that around these parts,
I think, and I hope this doesn't make me persona non grata in Memphis, but I think that Cal is perfect for that job, and I told him so. At Kentucky basketball is like Alabama football. You've got to have a big personality. You've got to be tough. You've got to be able to handle the magnitude of the job, and Cal can certainly do that. And I think they'll be very good. And I wouldn't be stunned if they win it. But right now, I would lean toward Kansas. I think also I don't know that I think they'll win it. But I think North Carolina, even with all the losses, I mean, I got some insiders down there, and they said, well, they got some players. So I think North Carolina is going to be really, really good again. But I think Kansas, to me, would be the preseason
Is Duke going to
favorite.
even be in the hunt this year, or is it going to be another year before they get back?
Nobody has more admiration for their program than I do, but I think it's a wait-and-see thing. They got a lot of big guys. It might be the biggest team that Coach Case had. But you have to wait and see how are they going to handle their point guard slot. How is Nolan Smith going to play? Shire, is going to be a great defender, great passer, great shooter, or a very good shooter and scorer. But is he going to be? It
seems like he's been around for a zillion years.
And so, and John's going to play the point some. Pardon me. If they handle their point guard situation, I think they'll be very, very good. And because I'm raising at home the world's biggest Duke fan, I better say Duke's going to be good. My son loves them.
That's great. That's great. Well, Rece, it was a pleasure to meet you. It was a pleasure to have you here on ESPN 92.9 FM. And we look forward to a great game tonight here in Memphis. Hopefully, East Carolina and Memphis. Thanks so much.
Thank you.